Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video. And just like last year people, almost a year to the day, I'm sitting here to tell you that this upcoming preview might be for the last Champions League game of the season, which is an absolute shambles, by the way, that I'm having to sit here and say that, but it's a shambles of our own making given how we set up, went about our business and performed last Tuesday night. The only saving grace about all of this right now, people, is it took 90 minutes for us to get ourselves in to this mess, but there's still 90 minutes left to get us out of it. So either it's fair to say that it is a massive game coming to us in 24 hours, and because it's so big there is genuinely so much to talk about. From the Rangers end, we've got a couple of players coming back from injury, a couple of discussion points about this and that, and also from the opposition where there's a couple of things I really want to talk to you about. But before we actually get in to that, ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't mind, just be a little bit cheeky at the start of today's video just to give a friendly reminder. We are now less than 120 away from the ultimate dream of 55k. I mean, this is something that we joked about and hoped about when we first made this channel. Now it's genuinely within reach. So if you are new around here, or even if you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, please consider doing so and help us make the ultimate dream, which is of course 55k. And dreams sort of be the thing that's on the menu right now, because we've obviously got a dream of playing in the Champions League, dream of overturning this first leg. There is so much to actually discuss in that way. But before we get to the Rangers point of view, let's talk about the opposition. Now, of course, we sat here a week ago and I made, and I think it's 21 minutes, 20 minutes, whatever it is, video breaking down everything about USG. We spoke about how they play and broke them down as a side. So I'm not going to sit here and repeat all that a week on to bore any, because I know the people that click on the preview videos are the hardcores of the channel, and I greatly appreciate every single one. So I'm not going to take your time for granted, but there is a couple of important team updates that we need to actually do from the other side, and let's dive right into it. Because coming into this game, people, the opposition is speaking very, very confidently on being in the next round. Now, they're not quite came out and said they're looking forward to playing PSV or Monaco, but they're almost there, ladies and gentlemen, being very dismissive of our chances of overturning this first leg, doing a lot of chatting about this actual game, dismissing the fact that it'll be very difficult for us to score 3 goals versus them, and even coming into a game at Ibrox on a European night, dismissing Ibrox and the atmosphere that can be created. Now, this is the official quote that they've actually put out there. The atmosphere is not a problem. We are not nervous. This gives us extra motivation to go through. End quote. Right there, slap that bad boy right up on every single one of your walls, because we've sat here many times about oppositional managers and everything giving our players motivation to put in the dressing room, because of course famously Barry Ferguson used to take everything for newspapers, stick up in the dressing room, read it before he went out, and went out to prove everybody wrong. Anyone who had a dig at Barry had on the what he would look at before he would go out and play. And we've sat here and said that about what opposition managers have said to your players. Well, now it's your turn, people, as fans. If you're going to that game tomorrow night, I want you to remember that this guy right here has pretty much dismissed the Ibrox atmosphere and the Ibrox faithful. So if that doesn't just gear you up to give that extra 1 or 2% on what will be our already incredible European night, I don't know what else will, ladies and gentlemen. He's went ahead and challenged not only the team but the fans. So let's answer it and be there. And I wanted to mention that not only because I was like, oh, okay, really, after the likes of Jude Bellingham for Dortmund came out and said what a proper atmosphere, a proper gaff, everything that Ibrox is, and they played their part in that phenomenal game versus Dortmund. And even after the Braga manager last year went out here and said that the crowd, our crowd, scared their team and had an important impact in the actual game. This scaffer's coming out here and questioning us. So I wanted to say that just to put it all on the table, but also to speak about their most recent game, because they've been very dismissive and very confident and everything like that about not conceding 3 goals. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, after saying that, they went into the weekend with a game and they lost 3-0 away from home in a game that they well and truly got battered. Now, naturally, there'll be people sitting here, because I'd be the exact same, saying, right, they got beat at the weekend, but probably they have rotated or rested and changed things around. That's why they got beat so heavily and ripped apart so easily. Well, right here on the channel, ladies and gentlemen, we try and not give you just the surface news. That's why the videos tend to be a wee bit longer. We try to go in to a bit of detail. So after going in and looking into this game of football, anyone who's got that kind of mindset, well, it was the reserves or did they rested, that's not true. 8 of the 11 starters that started versus Rangers last Tuesday went in and played and got battered on Saturday, and I mean battered. It was a complete massacre in that game of football. So I do think that's quite ironic that they've sat here and said it's going to be very difficult to score 3 goals against them when their 8 best players sat out there on Saturday night and got their ass handed to them. So that's interesting to take away from this team, people. And I mean, if you need any more motivation as players or anything like that, just go ahead and look at how easy they got tore apart, because they didn't like it when teams go for them, get in their faces and be brave. Again, like I sat here and said in last week's preview video, if you're passive and you're side to side all the time, that plays into their hands. But the team that hadn't had a win all season in Belgian football fed them their dinner by getting in their face and a driving right at them. So I'm hoping and praying, and I'm pretty damn sure the Rangers coaching staff and scouting staff and even Gio himself would have looked at that and went, right, that's how you go after them. So I'm hoping to see a completely different Rangers animal attacking what I expect to be a different Union side as well, because I expect them to be a little bit more defensive, because everything I'm being able to find from the other side is all talking about not conceding 3 goals. They're not talking about going out here and matching them and scoring more goals. All they're talking about is not conceding 3. So I said this for the Kilmarnock preview, but I do think we are going to face a similar stubborn test. Time wasting, kicking the boat, parking the bus, trying not to concede any goals that we did versus Kilmarnock. I think we may face that tomorrow. So it was a perfect test on Saturday that we passed. We just need a little bit more for the team if we're going to pass this one. So that's all I've really got to say regarding an oppositional update. I just wanted to let you know that, one, he's questioning the atmosphere that can be created at Ibrox and the potential impact that could have. And again, talking up his side's chances of not conceding 3 goals whilst going into the weekend and getting their scants pulled down. So it's interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and it will be a massive game. Again, for me, they're still a good side, but one of the things we have talked about is this team mentally now, despite them changing manager and a few players here or there, etc. This is still the same team last year with 6 games to go in Belgium that bottled the league. If you get after them early, they've shown that their bottle can crash. And here I am, both fingers crossed right now, hoping we see another crash for them tomorrow. Now, with that being said, it's time to move over to the Rangers side of today's video, and it's trying to find that balance from being, like, obviously believing in your team and not being disrespectful to the opposition, because listen, you all know, despite them irking me with some of their comments and their arrogance and everything like that, for me they're still a good side, and they certainly have a test that needs to be passed tomorrow. But it's a test, again, I still believe this Rangers team can actually make, despite what actually happened last Tuesday. Because to me, I don't think there's even the most pessimistic Rangers fan out there that's watching today's video will expect us to line up the same way we did the last time. Because that, for me, again, I've said it and I'll say it again, was a complete embarrassment what we done last week. And the defensive changes that we made, being 1-0 down, hoping to see that game out and take a 1-0 loss, should never be the Rangers mindset, in my personal opinion. But we got punished for that mindset and playing with a handbrake on. But that's not how we're going to be playing in this game. Surely no. And I truly believe we'll go after them from the first whistle, and hopefully the players can match what will be an electrifying atmosphere in the actual crowd. Because if there is one game that's screaming out to go for it, it's this one right here, because there is no tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen, as what Apollo Creed once said to Rocky Balboa. There is no frickin' tomorrow, so just unleash it and go. And look, if we get beat gone down that way, at least we went down swinging. But this 3 centre defensive mids keep everything titting side to side, lacklustre, slow, pathetic performances isn't it for me. No one Champions League is at the end of the run. We have more than enough attacking talent in this Rangers team to put out there, get them pinned back and hopefully rattle them a little bit. That would be lovely. I'm talking about a Rabi, I'm talking about a Tom Lawrence, I'm talking about a Tillman, I'm talking about a Cholak leading the line as a 4 if Ryan Kent can't go, which we'll speak about in a minute. That's the front 4 I think we should be starting, ladies and gentlemen, with only 2 in the middle, because we didn't need 3 centre defensive mids. And I'd love to know, if you're still watching today's video, how you feel about this, because I don't know if it's because of how well he played on Saturday, or I am just thinking with my normal Stephen Davis brain. But if there's a game that screams out for someone to really orchestrate that team and get us going forward, Stephen Davis has to be in that starting 11 tomorrow. I think we should repeat the exact same midfield that we did versus Kilmarnock. You had Davis ticking everything, pushing everything forward, and then you had Lundstrom running about like a dog at a park, just chasing everything down and winning us the ball back. For me, I think that's the balance we need, because we need them running back the way, no running at us pushing forward. And I'd love to know what your opinions are on who the midfield players need to be. For me, in this game to start, at least, Stephen Davis, John Lundstrom. I think it's written that way. Another talking point that you probably paused the video to shout at me already for what I just said there. I talked Cholak instead of Morelos, and the only reason I'm saying that, ladies and gentlemen, is because Morelos was off for 5 months. That's a long time in football. And listen, he had the storybook return, scoring on his return versus Kilmarnock after a 5-month layoff, and that's fantastic, and we're probably rightly so getting lost in the hype. But it will take him some time to actually bridge that gap to become the guy that destroyed the Europa League for pretty much every game that he actually played. And for me, there is a massive, massive difference in football. It's starting a game, playing against fresh defenders for 60 minutes, then coming off, rather than coming on with the last 30 minutes to go, running at tiring defenders. It's probably got the pressure of being 1 or 2-0 down behind, fingers crossed that's the case. And that's the way I see this game. I'd much rather have the psychological edge of, if we're pushing, needing another goal in the last 30 minutes, off trots your best striker and your most feared striker, just from the psychological point of view, what that could do to the defence, because that changes everything. And again, because he is 5 months behind the rest of the team, I'd rather him running at tiring defenders than starting the game off. But again, that's just me. He could start and score 3 goals and be off at half time. That would be absolutely lovely, but that's the way I see in the game. For me, still at this moment, to start the game tomorrow, it'd be Cholak rather than Alfredo, who is of course all fine and good from the weekend if he is required. Now, whilst you all shout at me in the comment section below for saying Cholak should be starting this game, I'll move on to some important Rangers team news, right? Because there's no point in me breaking down what we need today. We know what we need today. Just no be what we were last Tuesday. Be us. That's all we need today. Let's talk about some important Rangers team news, because we've got a massive update. The update that we wanted, and that is that Ryan Kent is available for selection tomorrow. Now, he did say he's in the squad and he'll see where he is and assess him tomorrow regarding minutes, but just having him available to run at the defence is massive, because we never had anybody running last week. We had Kamara running up and turning around and coming back like a yo-yo, and then you had Tillman drifting in from the left because he wants to play in the centre attacking midfielder role that Kamara doesn't want to play. And I just think whether he starts the game or comes on, Ryan Kent running at those, driving at the box, could be the difference, especially when old VAR is in, because you know nobody can stop him when he goes. It requires a challenge, and we saw from last year's Europa League that can be very, very beneficial having a Ryan Kent running at him. So that's the update regarding Ryan Kent. It is absolutely massive in the team, and unlike Alfredo, who's again been out for 5 months, it genuinely shocked me to see Ryan Kent start tomorrow. Like, if we lined up with Kent, Tillman, and then Lawrence, the cutting about and everything like that, with obviously Cholak, it genuinely wouldn't surprise me at all. And I'd love to know what your thoughts and opinions are on Mr. Ryan Kent. But unfortunately, there's still some bad news regarding Hagi and Helander, who again remains on the timeline and the scale round about the turn of the year, which is a long, long time away. But that's it regarding the team. Everyone else is ready to go and ready to explode on what will be hopefully an emphatic celebration. I hope you didn't see me to 3-4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, because see if that's happened, I'm away streaking. If you see a 1 o'clock upload it's no being a good night, people, right? If it's 3 or 4, we'll be celebrating together, right? So hopefully I'll see you round about that time, but that's all I wanted to talk about. Again, I'm not going to bore you and repeat you and take your time for advantage. That's a couple of things I felt we needed to speak about. What's your thoughts and opinions going into the game? Do you believe in the team? Yes or no? Let me know down in the comment section below. And to wrap up, all we've got to do now is to predict the unpredictable, and I genuinely think it'll be 2-0 going into the 90th minute, extra time, another goal out there, which will probably be scored by Alfredo Morelos. So I'll go 2-0 through the 90 and a third goal in extra time. Very similar to what we've done versus Braga, minus the goal we conceded, of course. But aye, that's it. I'm excited, I'm buzzing, I've spoken about everything I've needed to say. Now I hand the reins over to you, and I look forward to seeing what you're having to say. And I'll see you tomorrow night, again depending on the time. Take care of yourselves, everyone, all the best, and bye-bye.